Hey guys, thanks for watching Shalante's Way. So tonight we're going to be making blackened salmon with a brown sugar rub, pesto rotini, along with asparagus. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like my page if you like what you see. Stay tuned and keep watching. Okay, so now let's get started on some ingredients. So for the basil pesto, you're going to need pine nuts. We're going to toast those later. You're going to need Parmesan cheese shredded. You're going to need some basil, fresh basil, some extra light olive oil, and here I have some brown rice rotini noodles. You can also use penne noodles or any type of pasta noodles you like. I'm using brown rice because it's a little bit healthier, and right now I'm trying to eat healthy. Also, you're going to need Mrs. Dash for the asparagus. For the salmon, I'll be using butter, lawrys salt seasoning, chili powder, garlic powder, brown sugar, salt and pepper. That's going to be used for the salmon. And then also we're going to be using asparagus. So we're going to be preparing this. So next you have your prep work. So what you want to do is you have a couple of garlic cloves. Just depending on how much garlic you like. I like a lot of garlic. So I have about 6 or 7 cloves, and you want to have freshly washed basil as well. Make sure that's freshly washed. This is going to be for our basil pesto. And then you're going to want to toast your pine nuts. So I'm using Pam non-stick spray. And then I'm going to go ahead and toast my pine nuts just for a few seconds. You're not going to cook them, you're just going to toast them lightly. This is going to give your basil pesto a really good aroma and a nice flavor. So once you're done toasting the pine nuts, you're going to add the pine nuts into a blender with the Parmesan cheese, the garlic, the basil, as well as the olive oil. And you can just pretty much make it the consistency that you like. I like it to be thick, so you can just pretty much make it the consistency that you like for your pasta noodles. Make sure you boil your pasta al dente. I'm using brown rice noodles, so. Okay, so while the pasta's cooking, we're gonna be making the rub for the salmon. So what you're gonna do is pour about 3 or 4 tablespoons of brown sugar. This is just gonna be based on how much salmon you have. I got a large salmon fillet, so just based on how much salmon you want, because you're gonna wanna coat the salmon in the rub. So I have about maybe 4 tablespoons of brown sugar, some garlic powder, and then you're going to add your chili powder as well as salt and pepper. And this is going to be your rub. Even though it's brown sugar, it's not going to be too sweet. It's just going to give it just a delicious flavor. It's going to be like semi-sweet, which is going to be so delicious and smoky and yummy. So after you add your salt and pepper, you just want to go ahead and give it like a nice stir. And then also don't forget to add your lawrys seasoning salt. I add that on everything, but since you're using 2 salts, don't really use a lot of either. So you use half seasoning salt, half salt. And then my fillets are thick, so you just want to make sure it's seasoned properly. So go ahead and give that a stir, because we're going to add this on the delicious salmon fillet. Yummy. You definitely want to taste your rub just to make sure it tastes good, just to make sure it's flavorful and has the right components that you like. Also, I melted a half a stick of butter because I'm going to be pouring that on top of the salmon. And guys, my mouth is watering right now as we speak. It smells so delicious. So yeah, just make sure it's all blended in, and then we're going to be putting this on the salmon. Before we add the rub to the salmon, you're going to want to get a cast iron skillet. Make sure you put it on like medium temperature. You don't want to get it too hot. If you don't have a cast iron skillet, you can use a regular skillet. So now what we're going to be doing is pouring the butter all over the salmon. Oh, it's going to make it so delicious. It's going to make it so juicy. and you want the rub to really stick on the salmon. So we're gonna be pouring the butter all over the salmon to make that delicious. Okay, once the butter is all soaked in, you're gonna start putting the rub on the salmon. So you just apply a generous amount to each salmon fillet. Make sure you cover it. You want the whole salmon fillet to be flavorful. You don't want it to be missing anything. We don't want any regular smegulous salmon. So we're gonna go ahead and just pack those babies with that flavor. Okay, and just pat the rub in so that it's nice and set in the salmon. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and blacken the salmon. You're gonna just spray a non-stick cooking spray in your cast iron skillet or any type of skillet that you have. Cast iron works better for blackening something if you're gonna blacken chicken or fish. Cast iron skillet is the best. So we're just gonna let this fry or saute, if you will, for about maybe 3 to 5 minutes on each side. We're gonna finish this off in the oven, so that's why I have foil and over the pan. We're gonna finish that off in the oven. I flipped it over. Look at that golden brown texture. It smells even more delicious. I wish we had smell-o-vision so you can really see what's going on, but it's just so beautiful, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna taste even better. Okay, once you're done sauteing those, you're gonna put them in the oven on 350 for about 7 to 10 minutes, just depending on the thickness of the cut of salmon fillet you have. Look at those are so beautiful. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Once you take them out the oven, this is the finished product. You have your blackened salmon with brown sugar rub. Oh my goodness, so delish. Lastly, we're gonna make asparagus. I love vegetables. They're so easy to cook and they're so healthy for you. So this was pretty easy. All I did was sprinkle some Mrs. Dash, some lawrys salt, seasoning salt, and some olive oil, just a little bit. And I'm gonna saute this for a few minutes and then add a little water and then put the top on it to simmer. You're gonna put this on high heat and then put it to low or even turn it off, because you don't wanna cook them too much because you'll lose the nutrients. If you do have smaller kids, they might not want them too crunchy, so then you can go ahead and cook them fully. And there you have it, people. Blackened salmon with a brown sugar rub, basil pesto pasta, and asparagus. This recipe is so easy, you guys. You can definitely try it at home. Let me know how you like it, and thanks so much for watching. Toodles.